Hey guys, welcome to this very special Dude I Love or Hate My Ride, because with me is actually one of our colleagues, former colleagues, Dan Buxbaum, who has brought in his Grand Sport Corvette, but that's not exactly what this video is about. What this is really about is, Dan, how to fund your dream of owning multiple cars and yet somehow convince your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend that it's a business expense and you can make money at it. So in the video, we're going to talk about how you just bought, what, 4 cars?
4.
You bought 4 cars in how long?
Let's say less than a month.
4 cars in less than a month, and yet somehow you're making a business out of it. So let's start with the Grand Sport. How long have you had the Grand Sport?
This has officially been a week as of this past Saturday.
So it's brand new to you?
Yes.
All right. And this is what year?
2011.
2011, and it looks pristine. How many miles does it have?
I bought it with 10,500 and change, and it's up to about 11.2 now.
All right, so there's a hint for you. It's already got a lot of miles on it that you didn't put on it.
Correct.
All right, Dan, and how much does this bad boy cost?
It was around 35 grand.
Okay, so that's not bad, you know, for a vehicle that puts out, what, 430 horsepower?
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Yeah, if I remember right. And where'd you buy it?
Infiniti at Denver.
Okay, all right, and how'd you find it?
So, long story short, I've been looking, brain damaging myself for every car in history, right?
Yeah.
And I started looking at cars that I wanted personally to have on this platform and to use. And then all of a sudden I thought, well, wait a minute, what does everybody else want? What would somebody want to drive when they come to Colorado?
Yeah.
So I was looking for high performance convertibles that were flashy colors with automatic transmissions, unfortunately. And this popped up as a great value. So I did a little bit more digging, and a day later I had the car.
So at this point, I've kept you waiting long enough. You must be thinking to yourself, how is Dan financing these cars? How is he running a business that lets him drive a Grand Sport convertible, of all things, over the weekend? So why did you buy this? What are you doing with the car, Dan?
So what's happening is this and the other vehicles are being rented on Turo, which is not a new concept, I'm sure, to a lot of people who will be watching this. But a lot of us lay in the phase between, should I do it? Can it make money? And okay, I did it. Holy crap, now what? So that's what it's doing, and it actually lives full-time at Denver Airport, except today.
Yeah, so guys, in case you're not familiar with Turo, it's not that new. It's been around a couple of years now, right? And basically Turo allows people like Dan or you to put your personal cars onto a website where potential renters, right, can come, and instead of, when they come to Denver, renting through Avis or Hertz, they can actually rent your car, in this case Dan's car, and it's a way to actually help pay for the vehicle that you bought. So let's talk about how this cash flows, Dan, because that's the tricky part, right? So talk about the 4 cars that you have that you've got on tour right now.
Okay, so there's this 2011 Corvette Grand Sport convertible.
Yep.
I have a 2019 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk.
Wow.
White with black wheels and a black interior. That's the only new one that I've done this with.
Okay.
A little risky. I have a 2014 BMW 328 GT, the Quasimodo ugly hatchback. We'll get to that in a minute. And then the 4th one is 2012 Infiniti QX56, the whale, the big one.
Yeah, the happy hippo, as we like to call it.
Oh, I love it.
And of course, the trick is to find cars that people want to rent. So you got a sports car, kind of a BMW coupe. Is that a coupe?
So it's that big 4-door hatchback looking thing.
Oh, yeah, the 4-door hatchback. You've got a big crossover SUV, right? Mm-hmm. And what was the 4th one?
The 4th one was the Jeep.
Oh, and, you got a brand new Jeep. So which of those 4 rents the best?
The Jeep.
Really?
By a long shot. That's actually what the catalyst was, so I lied. I actually have had the Jeep for about 3.5 months.
Okay.
And that car has been on the platform the whole time. That's the reason why we expanded and decided to do what we're doing.
All right, so let's talk about the Jeep. So you got a Cherokee, which obviously isn't the Wrangler, isn't the Renegade. It's kind of the one that's, you know, the one in the middle, the mid-size crossover. Yeah. How much did you pay for that bad boy?
Sticker was $36. I got it as stripped down as I could, just with heated seats and steering wheel, which is important, right? Yeah. Got it in white, which is an important color. And then there was a massive capitalized cost reduction as far as a certain bank subsidizing the lease on that vehicle, hint, hint. And I think I wound up paying $24, $25 and change.
So you leased it?
Yes.
All right, so you leased that one. And how much money does it make on Turo?
I charge between $59 and $69 a day. Yeah. It's a little less than what most other people are charging for them. You just have to sell the concept. So of that, I take 75% of the cut, and the rest goes to Turo. And then there's a management company fee that I pay for each of these vehicles to handle these cars while they're at the airport.
Okay, so basically it's like having, for lack of a better example, you have a condo in the mountains, right?
Yep.
And there's a management company that then comes and cleans it and does all of the kind of upkeep of the thing while you're not there, because you travel for your regular job.
A lot.
All right. So
Yes.
how much do you pay a month for the Jeep, and how much can you make a month?
So my Jeep payment is just over $300 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I only put startups out of pocket just to get the taxes out of the way.
Yeah.
And per month, after all expenses and everything else, including depreciation and maintenance, which you have to factor in, right?
Yep.
So I'm clearing about $425 a month from that car.
It's not bad. It's
No.
not bad, and you get a Jeep that if you need it, you can have it. But you said it
Absolutely.
lives at the airport, right? So
Yes.
people actually, all these cars live at the airport. Where, is there a place like Canopy? Where do you keep them?
Fine airport parking.
Find the new place out of Salt Lake City, out of
Exactly.
Utah. Yeah, they're brand new.
So I stumbled on it by accident. I went in to drop off a vehicle one day. It was actually the Jeep,
Yeah.
and it was the first renter. And I thought, man, how am I going to do this every day? Driving up and down 470. I've got a 45-minute commute. I travel. Is this really doable?
Yeah.
And like serendipity, like angels fell out of the sky, the girl says, oh, you're dropping off for hassle-free car. And I said, what's hassle-free car? So long story short, I get to talking to the owner, and it turns out you can pay them $300 a month,
Yeah.
plus a small startup fee, to basically babysit your car just like Airbnb while it's sitting full-time at the airport. So they take care of checking people in and out, fueling if they forget, cleaning it before and after every trip. I couldn't live without it. at
Yeah,
this
so
point.
it's kind of like Silver Car.
Yes.
Right, except you do everything besides Audis. Right?
In
Silver Car does
cars that
Audi.
people might want besides Audis?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the cool thing about this, of course, is that Fine has an airport shuttle. So if somebody rents your vehicle for the weekend or whatever, they just go to the Fine airport shuttle, takes them to Fine, they hand them the keys, off they go.
Yep.
Yeah, and let's talk about Turo. How's your experience been with them? Some people have had mixed reviews. What has yours been?
You know, to be fair, Roman, I haven't been on the platform long enough as a
Yeah.
host to really form judgment on it. But my interaction so far, it's flawless. You just have to have the proper expectations going in.
And what are those expectations?
You cannot, in my opinion, if there's one thing to learn from all of this, you cannot go in expecting for it to replace your primary income, just like Uber or Lyft.
Yeah.
And you can't go in with the expectation to make buku bucks. You've got to forecast right and make it realistic and realize you're going to make mistakes. Maybe this Corvette wasn't the one I was supposed to buy. You just have to set yourself up so that your kids still can go to college if you fudge it a little.
All right, let's talk about the Corvette, and then we'll get back to more of the other cars that you have. So let's talk
Sure.
about this while it's here.
Yeah.
Why'd you get this Corvette? I mean, besides the fact that it's resale red, it's got 430 horsepower, and it's a hoot to drive on a beautiful summer day with the top down.
I like a challenge. That's what I live for, and I've owned pretty much only German cars.
Yeah.
There was a video I did with Michael a couple months ago
remember.
on wanting to sell my M3
Yeah.
convertible, which was also resale red
Yeah.
and less power. And I just wanted something different.
Yeah.
This was my first concession that I'm not buying a car for me.
Yeah.
I'm buying a car for what other people want to drive in the season when they're here.
Corvette is the most iconic American sports car, right? You'd be hard pressed to find more than this. Maybe a Mustang Camaro, but I think if you think of like the ultimate American sports car, it's got to be this.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I think that this series is called Dude, I Love My Ride,
Yeah.
right? I think it should be called Dude, I Want to Hate My Ride, but I can't.
Really? So have you actually? Obviously, the rub on the Corvette is that they're fast, but they're plasticky
Oh, yeah.
because they're made of fiberglass, and they're probably better in a straight line than they are around a curve. That's what a lot of people think. But I think that's an old impression of Corvettes. I think some of the newest, especially starting with like the C3, C4, C5, right? They become world-class performance cars. Do you find that with this?
Look, I'm not a professional racetrack driver, and I'm not buying this to do autocrossing. For those of you who are, maybe it's right and maybe it's not. But dropping the top in one of the 300 days of sun we have a year here,
Yeah.
man, this thing goes around a corner. It hauls ass. It's reliable. It gets 25, 26 miles to the gallon on the highway. I mean, what? Sure, technology's outpaced it, and the interior is terrible. But this is also now, a 7-8-year-old car, and it's held up pretty well.
Yeah, let's look at what's not terrible,
Yeah.
which is under the hood. I mean, we got to show them this, right? This is
Of course.
This is a gorgeous. This is the part that once you see it, you'll understand. I mean, look at that.
You got to point out one thing here, though, Roman.
What is that?
When is the last time anybody has owned a car, I guess, that had spark plug wires and not coils?
I don't remember.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. I mean, look at that engine, and it's not covered in plastic. You can still see it, right?
Yes.
And it's a good old Chevy V8.
Yeah.
What more could you want? And, when you drove this thing in here, you can just hear that kind of, heartbeat of America, as Jimmy would say.
It's actually misfire on cylinder 3, but same thing.
All right.
Kidding. Sort of.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. When you buy these cars, Dan, do you get like an extended warranty on them?
Absolutely.
So that you don't have to worry about like repairing them and fixing them?
Yeah, so something a lot of people I think don't realize about the dealer purchase experience, right, is that's where your dealer is going to make your money. So the one bit of the secret sauce that you can open up is when you buy a car, you have to think about how much are you actually financing? How are you making the dealer happy so they want to do business with you again and again? It's creating partnerships, right?
Yep.
And then warranties are cancelable. Just make enough payments on the car so that the dealer doesn't get what's called a chargeback, where you haven't kept it long enough. But if you have it protected by a warranty for the amount of time you have it, I have to set myself up so I'm not investing time, repairs, and excess money. Just cancel the warranty when you're done.
Have you had an experience with any of these cars yet where you had to use a warranty? You haven't done it?
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Coming up. The Infiniti, wonderful car, had a check engine light come on the third day, and like a nerd, I had a code reader in my backpack.
Yeah, okay, of course, as one would.
Just like everybody does, right? It's catalyst fault, right? So it's either an oxygen sensor or cats.
Yeah.
And I started freaking out and then thought, wait a minute, I just have to make an appointment for this thing, and whatever it is, I pay my deductible and it's fixed.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
2 days down, back in service, healthier than ever. So.
Okay, all right, good. How much do you charge for this Corvette? If I wanted to fly in here and rent it, and do people rent these things for a day, a weekend? What's kind of the typical rental period that you're seeing?
So this is where it's fun.
Yeah.
In my background, I was a sales manager and I've sold cars before. So this is where I get to play with my own pricing.
Okay.
At the beginning, I'm making this cheap, man. I'm renting it anywhere between $59 a day and $99 a day, when Turo's algorithm suggested $120.
Okay.
Right? So the idea is, why shouldn't someone be able to come here when I can at least break even and have fun with a car like this in a climate like this?
Okay.
So pricing just depends, to be honest with you. I'm getting my feet under me, and whatever sticks, sticks.
And one of the things that I think we should hit upon now, let's go back to the front here,
Yeah.
is perhaps the fact that somebody out there actually may want to rent this thing from you, Dan. So if somebody wants to rent this, or the Jeep, or the Infiniti, or the BMW, where do they find it? Where do they go on Turo? How do they get to this specific car?
So what you would do is download the Turo app if
Yep.
you haven't already.
Yep.
And without as much shameless self-promotion as I can do here.
Feel free. I appreciate you coming down.
Oh, thanks. Just search these cars. So Corvette, search for Cherokee, Trailhawk, search for the QX56, or search for the 3 Series GT. Make sure that you're searching at Denver International Airport,
Okay.
which is where these things live.
Yep.
And then you'll have the option, unlike anything else, to book these instantly. There's no waiting for someone to approve it.
Yep.
And it's basically 24/7, thanks to hassle-free. A long time ago, somebody told me the day you can figure out when you can make your business work 24 hours a day is the day that you know that you're in for good.
So what's the longest rental you've had?
So far, it's been a week and a half.
That's not bad. What car was that?
Cherokee.
Okay. And what's the shortest?
Less than a day. 4 hours in a layover with this one. That
Yeah.
was its first rental. A guy drove overnight from the airport to Fort Collins at 11:30 to be back at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning for an early flight.
How much money did you make on that?
About $40.
Okay.
In my pocket. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather it not sit idle. I'd rather see people using these every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
What
you just
percentage
can't-
does Turo take?
25%,
Okay.
the way I have it set up, on their second to highest insurance policy.
Oh yeah, and you can pick different insurance policies, right?
Correct.
And then they also, I think, make you put down a deposit, right? Or some kind. They take a credit card, and if, I guess I'm wondering, somebody, you'd probably get this insured, right?
Yes.
Obviously, and somebody rents it and wraps it around a tree. How much money are you out?
With Turo, as I understand it, Roman, I may be wrong, but nothing as a host.
All right.
It's either between the guest, and Turo has $1 million umbrella on any of these cars, so goodness forbid they do something really bad.
Yeah.
Their idea is just to make sure that the host is absolved and can keep running their fleet, and it is what it is.
So you've got a full-time job. How
Yes.
much time do you spend, a month doing this? Besides the fact that you've bought them now, right? So you've got the cars now, you've got the revenue source. So how much time do you put into this? And do you get like a little notification on your phone when,
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting,
Yeah.
right? You land somewhere and you're like, oh gosh, somebody's renting my car.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
I can still communicate with my renters too. So I'm trying to break the habit. You could ask my wife about this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break the habit of spending probably 20, 25 hours a week of brain damage now that most of the cars have been bought,
Yeah.
right? At this point, My goal would be maybe 5 to 7 hours a week total, because Hassle-Free will message my customers personalized back and forth too.
Okay.
I just like to ask them for their feedback, and that's critical in building this. Everything from how was pricing to are there features you'd want to see? Was this the right car for our climate? What would you have done differently? That's what's sucking up a lot of my time now, is using that as my next step.
Is there a way you can promote these cars yourself that goes beyond what Turo does?
I'm in the middle of figuring that out now.
Yeah.
So could be the next step.
Yeah, like a website, like Dan's Rentals, and have a website linked to all this. Something that's straightforward, right?
Yeah. I'll have to keep you guys in the loop.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to see how your business is growing. And how hard is it for you to actually use the cars when you want to use them? So, a lot of times the issue is, let's go back to that analogy we were talking about. Let's say you've got a place in the mountains, which a lot of people do, right?
Yeah.
It rents the best when you want to use it. And what I mean by that, of course, is it rents the best over Christmas, over Easter, right, when kids are out of school. So I would think the same kind of model applies to these cars, right? Over the holidays when people are coming here, this is when it's going to rent, but that's when you can't use it. Have you found that to be the case?
Not yet.
No?
I'm purposefully setting myself up for success, though, with weekends and holidays, especially with cars like this.
Yeah.
But next week, as an example, the weather is going to be on Thursday and Friday, or this week now, actually. So I blacked it out, requested to use it those days, because I trust myself at least in 50 degrees and rainy, but it's not when someone even just deserves to have a car like this. It's no fun at that point.
And has anybody wrecked or broken the car yet? Have you had any issues like that?
Well, this one's had the front lip scuffed up a little bit, and I actually had a renter get in a minor fender bender in the 3 Series 2 days ago.
Yeah, and?
Barely any damage, very concerned about the car, wanted to make sure that I was okay with what had happened, and that's the thing, man. When you have a rental car, you want to beat the crap out of it. And I'm not telling people not to floor this thing, but I think there's a person-to-person camaraderie that happens on this platform where you're still driving somebody else's car, and there's a really interesting level of respect that comes out of it.
Yeah,
at least
because
has so far.
Because obviously the saying goes, "What's the fastest car? The one you rent," right?
Of course, I have no problem with that.
But at least this way, it's some people realize that it's your car. It's not some company that doesn't care, right? But it's a person that actually goes out and takes care of these and buys them. Could we come back 6 months and see how this has worked out for you? Because this is kind of a fledgling business, and I'm really curious, right? You're only a couple months into it.
Yeah, barely.
What happens if it doesn't go, man?
Then it doesn't go, and I lose a little money, break even. That would be the goal, right? 5% year over year is the rule.
Yeah.
Then I had a great learning experience and got to drive some really badass cars over the summer. Just take the risk.
Except for the GT.
Except for the GT.
Yeah, except for the GT.
Well, if I dine and tune it, maybe a little bit.
Well, thank you, Dan. And guys, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below, and Dan, you'll answer them.
Absolutely. And also, if anybody has ideas on what I should get next, I don't care how out there or ridiculous it is, I want to know what car you would rent in Colorado if you had a week and a limited budget. What would be your go-to?
I know that one.
Yeah?
Wrangler.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Would it have to be a Rubicon, though?
No.
Okay.
No, Sahara's fine. Wrangler, I mean, already your Jeep's doing well. People come here. The problem, of course, with the Wranglers, they're going to take it off-road, and when you take it off-road, you got trail damage. It just...
Yeah.
One follows a rainbow after a rain, except this is a bad rainbow. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That was a bad analogy. I was thinking on my feet, and it didn't work. Thanks for watching. Remember, check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and, of course, real-world reviews. And let Dan know in the comments below what other car he should be buying. And if you have any ideas, and dudettes, go and rent Dan's vehicles. These are some really cool cars, and I'm a little jealous, Dan. I mean, I remember when I reviewed this car, it's badass. It puts a smile on my face, and you're exactly right. The interior is not great, but you take the top down and you push on that pedal, and the world gets really fun. All right, guys, see you next time. Ciao.